Hello guys, welcome back, and in this video I would like again to review my own code and just to make some improvements on the previous code that we had just left. So without further ado, let us dive in and see the improvements that we can be able to make. So I've been reading code online, and there's a link I'll leave in the description whereby you can be able to read about the best practices when writing Laravel code. And one thing that I did find from, or if I can say more advanced developers, someone like Povilas of the Laravel Daily, is that if I go to this controller here, there's something I'd written here, and I saw it's something that I can refactor, for example, here. And so when you look at this code, is that what I'm doing here, basically, I'm checking if, let me just undo this, what have I done? I'm checking if the closed question here, the option is answer is equal to the chosen answer, and then I'm doing some duplication here, which can easily be reduced. For example, if I just use one-liner if statement, I can just copy this. Let me just cut this here, and then I can just paste it here. And then I can say if this is true, what we can do is that we can pass 1, and if it is false, then we can pass 0. All right. And then once we have done that, that will mean we don't need this if statement, yeah, because we are only changing this is correct. So what I can do is that I can actually just remove this, and I can actually again remove this. So our code should be that short and like that. And then is that what I also saw is that if I go to, let us say, course lecture here, initially this is what I was doing, is that I check if there is a file by the name lecture content, and then I update the content, I update the file, and then I update the data, and then I send response. And if there is no file of this nature, I just update the data without the file content, then I send a response. What I can be able to do is that initially I can just assume that that the user will send lecture content without any file. So I can just have this by default, and then what I can do here is that if he happens to send a file with the request, then I can be able just to get the file name and then just update the file URL for that already updated course, and then that will mean I don't need to have this JSON inside, so I can just have something like that. All right, so I think this is much shorter and much cleaner. So I can do the same thing again. If I go to section, if I go to course control, I can do the same thing here. Move this here, and then do this, then just remove this and leave the image only, and then you also need to remove that. So we have something like that. So now if someone sends the request without a file, this will only update the data without the file, and if by any chance it sends data with the file, then we shall be able to update. Okay, I don't even need this comment, just like that. And then here also we just scroll up, we don't need this comment, so that is fine, like that. And then like that, that is fine. And then let's see, yeah. So the next thing is that if we go to the web .php file, I noticed that there are some routes here that they are together. All right, so I think it's a good practice to group this file, and I checked out some blog here, Laravel Daily and Laravel News. So let me just open this up, So when I checked out this blog is that I can be able to do something, all right, something like this. I can be able to add prefix. This is okay, it's something simple, but I had forgotten to do that. So I want to group this together, these routes here. So I can simply say route, and then I can use group like this. So if you check the syntax here, let me just, yeah, you can use this first one whereby you attach a prefix and then you call you call the group method and then you pass in a function, all right? So we can do something like this. For example, here we can just say prefix, something like this, and then we can just call this to be student, all right? And then you can call the group function here, group function, and then you can pass, of course, a function inside here like this. And then we can just move everything here inside this guy. So that is the first way to do this. And then if you can check here, we have the second way from the documentation, which will be just to use the group and then pass middleware, and you can also pass the namespace, you can also pass the prefix. So I think this is much cleaner and shorter if you're using many of these predefined variables. So I'm going to use that one. So I'm just going to do this, I'm going to delete this, and here of course I need to pass an array, and I need to say prefix, and the prefix is going to point to something like student, like this student, and then the second parameter of course is a function, all right? So that is it. And then I can do the same for admin here. So instead of having just the middleware, I can just move this like that, and then here we can have group, and then inside here this will be the middleware. The middleware is admin like that, and then we can have the prefix as admin, all right? Then you can have of course a comma here, so something of that sort. So that will do the same thing. So if I go back here, you see I pass an array and then a comma, and then I define all the route inside that. I've been able to group those routes. So the next thing that you can be able to do again from this code is that let us see, if I go to this is student, let us go here. So here what I'm doing here is that I'm using this get here, and it's simply aborting, and what I wanted is to attach a message here to this get. And I went to the documentation here. Let me just open this so that you can be able to see. So you can be able to do this quite simply by doing something like this. You see here in the where you define your get, you can just after this condition here, you can just pass allow and then deny status, and then there was a message here. Where is it? Let's scroll down a little bit. So there is this code here where say you can allow and deny and then pass in a message. So I'm going to use this structure here. Because initially when the user gets try to access these pages that I have, they don't get any message. They just get a 4.3 error, which is forbidden. So I can just pass this this message here. So this is, so now if I go to where the get should be inside the providers, app service provider, auth service provider here. So here, this is where I have my what? I have my condition, so I'm going to just do this. So like this, and then I can just say you must be authorized. You must be authorized by admin to view courses, something of that sort, to view courses like that. And then now where I'm using this guy, let's just remove this now and just use this, and let us use authorize like this. And the ability is what? If I go back here, the ability is access courses. So I'm going to paste that here like that, and then yeah, we are good. So if I go back here, user courses, course ID, yeah, we are good. And then where else do we need to use this code? So we are fine up to there. So the next thing that we can be able to do here is that if I go to my course lecture here, is that I'm using these files here, this file class here, and after reading a bit of after doing some bit of research, this is what I got, is that the most preferred way is not to use custom class for generic classes, generic functionality, but rather to use user services, all right, or to use services. So what I'm going to do is, currently I have this. If you go to custom, I have this custom class here, which is manage files. So I thought maybe I could refactor, or I could create maybe a service class for managing, for managing files, instead of having these like custom classes, because it is a more general functionality. So inside the app folder, I'm going to create a new directory. Let's call this services like that. All right, so that is okay. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to follow this pattern here, whereby we have been told that you need, let me just call up step 1 is create a service folder with a service class. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going inside the custom here. I'm going to move this to service classes like that one. I'm going to say refactor. All right, and then I'm going to delete this custom class now like this. And then inside the service class, I'm going to rename this to be a file. Let us say file service. I think that is should be file service. So file service like that, and I'm going to refactor this. Okay, let us refactor that. Okay, the next thing is that if I go here, now we are told we need to have public classes. So I'm going to remove static on these classes. So we just have public classes like this for in our service class. So go inside here also, remove this guy here, and then I'll go here, I'll remove also this guy. So we have our class like that. Let me just format this so that it looks well. Yeah, that is fine. And then the next thing is that we are told we can now be able to inject this service class directly to the user, or to the class that we need them to be injected. And I'm going to use a syntax for this is a syntax for PHP 8, whereby you can be able to directly inject this service class into the constructor, something like this, and then it can be able to access it as a property of this class. All right. So if I go back now, I'm using service class inside some controllers here. So if I go here, cause you see here where we have a file. So I'm using service class here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create to just paste this guy here, and this should be file service like this, and this should be file service like this, and then okay, that is okay. So this is doing something like this. This is like saying you have a private property here, so maybe private test, something of that sort, and then you will come down here and inside the controller and say maybe this something like test is equals to the value that has been passed in the controller. So this is what basically this code does here. So I'm going to delete that, and then now if I go down where I'm using these files here, I can simply do something like this. I can simply say this, and I can say this should be file service. Okay, why is it not file service like this? And then I want to call a method by the name this is process image, like that. And then I can scroll down now. Again, where am I using this guy? Here I can just say this, and then I can say file service like this. Then I can call guy by the name, this is, let us see, oh, this is process image. Right, it should be like that. And then of course here we can now just do something like this, file service. We're going to call that method remove file, like that. All right, and then where else are we using this guy? So if I go to file service, this will carry all our methods that we need. And then now if I go to course lecture, can do the same thing here. And go inside here, can paste this here. Now do this, say this, file service, then I call that method. Then I'll scroll down, say this, then I can say file service, then I can call that method. And then again, lastly here, I can say this, then I can call file service, then I can call that method. And then what else? We'll scroll down, and yeah, we are good. So we have been able to remove that logic and move it to the file service. Actually, even one more. Okay, this is fine for now. Anytime we need to use this file service, we can just be able to to insert it like this. And yeah, that is okay. And then let me see what next can we do here. So I've been able to refactor the web.php, and then so I don't need now to use this because now the code is much readable and don't need to use this. And then of course user must be logged in, don't need to use this. Yeah, and then don't need to use this. And then lastly, let us see. Yeah, we are good. If we go to register, we go to student controller. All right, one more. I think I've used this image guy somewhere in auth controller. So let us go there. Auth controller register. Yeah, you see. So I don't know. Yeah, what can we do? This is and just say here private file service like that. And then you can say file service. All right, and then now we can just copy this, then go down here, just paste this guy here and say this, call this file service, and then call this guy here like that one. Then so I can just copy this guy from here like this and replace all these other guys like this, like this, and like that. All right, then if I go down, yeah, that is it. If I do that, we are good. We are good. So I don't think I need to change anything else here. And that is it, guys, for this video. I've been able to refactor and improve on quite a number of things. And so if you want me to do more of these videos where I review code and change code, let me know in the comments. And till we meet again, bye bye.